Okay, we're going to try this again. This is the Kallus painting video for Tabletop Standard. Took me about 30 minutes of actual time to paint this miniature to Tabletop Standard. I'm going to admit you got more of a Bob Ross in the first taping of this, and I realized I didn't hit record. I'm going to try to keep that inner Bob Ross going. I sat here and talked to myself for 18 minutes for nothing. So, you know. Anyway. Excuse me. For miniatures now that I don't invest a lot of time in, I'm trying to limit them to 5 colors. In this case, the dark gray that he was primed in was one of those colors. That is his uniform. That's a big part of his wardrobe. So I use that as one of the colors. And there's 4 other colors that I picked. Light gray, the yellow that you see, more of a dirty blonde, but the yellow that you see I'm putting on for his hair. Midnight blue, which ends up being Night Lord's blue for his gloves and his boots and the belt buckle. And then a fluorescent green that is Terrasec glow for the orbs on the end of the rifle staff thing. The reason I say 5 colors is, you know, all tournaments are 3 color standard, 3 color minimum. We all have a lot of miniatures to paint. Just drop in 2 more colors and get a lot of those basic troops painted and out of your way. Don't waste your time and energy on your guys that are going to get wiped first part of the game. See the Night Lord's blue being put on now. The yellow for his hair was Averland Sunset GW color. Skin tone was Shadow Flesh from Pro Acryl. The gray, I don't know, it was a mix up of black and white. Obviously more black than white. The light gray that I use is Stonewall Gray from Army Painter. I use it on his armor and his staff. Again, you don't need every doodad to have a separate color. Every buckle, every set of laces, every little thing does not need a separate color. Not everybody's eye is going to catch each one of those. And your main characters, yes. And if Kallus is your main character, then by all means take the extra time and put him in. There's not much on him, so there's, you know, not much to do anyway, but you will see that obviously I broke my 5 color rule a little bit because his skin color is not part of that rule, because I didn't figure that is that much, and his insignia is not part of that rule because it's just a dab of blue and a dab of red. I want Kallus to look good, but I don't want to take and waste 5 hours on him. I don't use him. But if I pull him out of the thing, I want someone to say, oh, wow, he looks pretty good. That's what we're going for here. Tabletop standard. It's basically base coat, wash, highlight. You can do all the layering and glazing and everything you want on all the figures that you want, by all means. At the end of the day, you're running 150 orcs. No one's going to see the glazing you did on all their muscly arms. They will see it on the war boss. Looking at this right now, it looks like he's doing the staff the exact same color as the armor, and it's gonna look like crap. And it did cross my mind that it's gonna look like garbage, but it does come out as two distinct items once the wash hits it. They're two distinct items. They don't come across as just, look, I pulled this vacuum attachment off of my main fucking piece of armor here or something. It looks like two distinct things. And that's just saving time. That just saves me time from grabbing lead belcher and doing the staff in lead belcher. Could I have done it in lead belcher? Sure, why not? Could I have done it in a little bit darker gray but lighter than the uniform? Sure. I think the thing that came up on my color harmonizer, color palette, whatever I was using, was French gray, and it looked like a white. And even if, the good part about this is, even if you want to go further on your Kallus, he's at the perfect point right now at tabletop standard. He's at the perfect point to just move up. You're just moving up now. You're just glazing for the highlights and everything else. You're just moving up now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to work backwards. You're just working forwards. You don't have to go back and strip anything off and be like, oh, I fucked up all this, so now I have to go back and redo it again. No, you're just moving forward with full steam ahead. But in the meantime, he's good enough to play. Get all your miniatures at this point and then go back and work on the ones that you really want to shine. Because at the end of the day, if you're sitting there with a fully painted army at tabletop standard and you're playing against somebody who has not got a fully painted army, you've already won. Doesn't matter what the score is at the end of the day. Doesn't matter. You've already won the game. I got 9 more minutes to take up. That motivation speech should have came towards the end. Again, just the Terraset glow. We'll say with the wash inside the Terraset glow a little darker than I would have liked. That can easily be fixed by just going in there with a small brush and just touching areas with the Terraset glow to lighten it up a little bit. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's not anything that has to be worried about. And I don't know if we covered this already, because it may be blending into the last video that I recorded that didn't get recorded. But oh, these are the fucking eyeballs. These fucking didn't come out worth it. The eyeballs got done sort of half-assed on this because I knew the wash would sort of go over them anyway. So anyway, washes, tabletop standard. There's all kind of washes out there. If you're doing a lot of your stuff in tabletop standard and you want it all to have a uniform look, get Army Painter Strong Tone. Not the stuff in the tin can, the quick shade that you fucking like varnish and you dip your thing and you sling the, you know, the little dropper bottle. Strong Tone. Yeah, I fucked up those eyes. Anyway, Strong Tone. You add a little water to it to weaken it, lighten it up a little bit. Double coat to string it a little bit. There is a strong. I'm sorry, I said you're getting strong tone. There is a dark tone. There's a soft tone. I think the strong tone is a good middle. I think it's a great wash for everything. It does have a brownish tint, but it's a light brownish tint. It doesn't. It's going to give you a uniformity on everything. Army Painter makes some washes in different colors as well. They work great. Obviously, you pick and choose. You know, if you're using green on an orc, you're only using it on its arms, etc., etc. The Strong Tone, you can use it all over, and it's a general all-over wash. That being said, you need to gloss coat your mini before you put the wash on, and if possible, gloss coat your mini using an airbrush. Why? Because the finer spray multiple times glossing the mini, I feel, works better than just one thick fucking rattle can spray. So that's what we want to do. We want to fucking befriend somebody, if only because of their airbrush. I don't care. But you want the fine mist of the airbrush gloss. The first time you put Strong Tone on, water it down a little bit. Less is more. You can always add more. Can't take it off. And then you watch that first mini. Do one first. You watch that first mini so it collects, and when it pulls, you're there with a wet brush to take some of it off a little bit at a time. You don't want that stuff pulling. You want to manage that pulling the way you want it to look. It's going to take a little work, but the benefit of it is you got a strong looking, quick mini. Oh, this is just the satin or the gloss spray, and the wash still makes them look extra glossy. I'm doing a quick base, quick desert base. It's going to have some grass. Getting ready to spray him with the dull coat so he looks a little better. highlights. I do put a wash. I had some of the strong tones still on my wet palette. I threw a little bit on there just for the hell of it. You don't see it on here. It got cut off. We were literally watching paint dry here for like 5 minutes. And when you get your system down, once you get your first mini, your first couple minis done, because you're working the system one at a time, then you have multiple minis, so you're taking up that dry time by working on the other minis. Right, because if we count the dry time, we count the fucking time me sitting around clicking on shit, watching YouTube videos, waiting for shit to dry. We count all that fucking time, I was here for fucking hours. It felt like it. This is just me showing you there's a bit of glue or something on his foot. If I pull it off, he's going to have an unpainted part of his foot. Just part of miniature painting is covering up fucking mistakes. I didn't see it till it's too late, so when we put him on here, we're going to cut a piece of grass tough, and we're going to put it onto that side of the foot like he's stepping on it, so you don't see that fucking mess up. Right? That's fucking miniature painting right there. I fucked up. How can I convincingly cover up that mistake? That's your job. I put paint extender or something on here by mistake, thinking I was putting accelerate on here. That was stupid. Two grass tufts, one cut in half to cover up that mess up on his foot, the other in the front. Basic, done. This guy's done. If I had 10 other minis sitting here in an assembly line that I just had to get done, just basic guys, this fucking Super Tac Droid, I don't know, Clone Commander, just stupid fucking guys that aren't super special guys but need to be done. That's what I'm doing with this for. You know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take time, subscribe, hit the bell icon, like the video. We'll see you on the next one.